Joining me to discuss that are Richard Tice, who's the co-chairman of Leave, and Charlie Mullins, managing director of Pimlico Plumbers and ardent supporter of Remain. Welcome to you both.
Morning, Adam. Morning.
Well, very simple question, first of all, on what's been agreed overnight. Who's over the moon, who's sick as a parrot? Sick as a parrot?
I don't think actually either of those things apply. The reality is the devil is in the detail from here on. We've got to agree this transition deal. The agreement talks about early 2018. Leave means leave. We're saying that must be by the end of Q1. But what isn't referred to in timetable, which is absolutely critical, is the timing of agreeing the heads of terms for a free trade deal. What we absolutely must not allow is for that free trade negotiations to continue into the transition period, because if you do that, then actually there's never an incentive for the EU ever to agree a free trade deal, and therefore we're in a permanent transition.
Because what they're envisaging is some kind of continued trade relationship between the UK and the EU lasting for perhaps 8 years.
Well, look, the reality is we need a new trading arrangement.
No, but that's what the document says.
Well, the document talks about 8 years in respect of the ECJ. Yeah. But you know, that's just in respect of EU citizens. But the more important thing, actually, is the trading arrangement. What we cannot allow is that we basically get legged over because we haven't agreed the heads of terms of a free trade deal in permanence before we enter the transition period.
We're being legged over?
Well, it's not good news, is it? What's the way it's going? You know, it's already been said that David Davis has done no homework on or assessing the damage it's going to do leaving Brexit. Everyone's jumping up and down about, you know, what we've done. All we've done is negotiated to be allowed to negotiate a trade deal. We're no better off. The good news, I believe, is that, you know, the 3 million citizens can stay, or from the UK can stay over here, which is good news. And the million that we've got abroad, they can stay there. But other than that, we're still losing £300 million a week. Car sales are still down. Growth is static at the moment. So where's the good news?
So what good news could be secured, do you think, in the next round of negotiations?
Well, I mean, hopefully that they get a good trade deal. That's really what it's about now. It's not about remaining, leaving, staying or whatever. It's about the negotiation for the trade.
And what's important for you in that trade deal? I mean, do you agree with Richard that we've got to get independent of the European Union at the earliest possible?
Well, we have, but I mean, you know, why do we want to come out of the European Union? Why do we want to leave the single market? There's 500 potential customers.
So stay in.
Well, of course, 500 million customers.
We've had a referendum, we've had a democratic vote, and we've agreed that. Yeah, the reason is because it was a bad deal in the first place. But that's not where we're at. Where we're at now is moving to the future.
Well, hang on. No.
Hold on, fella. You know, you say we've had... They keep on about the will of the people. The will of the people now want another referendum.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
Nonsense.
Well, I think that was the opinion poll this week suggesting people would like a referendum on the final deal.
Look, if you go outside the M25 and you talk to people, then, you know, the people I talk to, that is absolutely not the case.
London's the other business. I'm telling you now, in London, it's more people want to have another referendum.
What people want is to get on with it so that the government can focus on domestic issues.
Of course, we all want to get on with it, of course.
But the real key is, in the detail of this, we must be able to start to deregulate and take back control. And if we allow this regulatory alignment to continue forever, we've got to be so vigilant
but on this key trade-off of the trading relationship versus full control, that was not on the ballot paper, and it is clearly going to be discussed in this next phase how close our trade relationship should be. We had the opposition there saying that they want to continue to have the benefits of the single market. We know that there are countries who are technically outside the EU who are in the single market. We know that there are countries outside the EU
every country in the world has access to the single market.
So that's got to be discussed now, hasn't it?
Of course it's got to be discussed as part of a trade deal.
And that could end up with Norway, for example. That could end up with Norway.
Let's remember, over 90% of UK businesses don't export to the EU, so they must not be hindered and burdened by EU regulations. That's the deregulation.
The point I'm making is you just said, OK, we're coming out of the single market. Norway, for example, you know, is outside the EU, but is still part of the single market. That has to be part of the discussions now.
The people voted on the basis of the government pamphlet, which in 5 separate places said that we would have to leave the single market. We would not maintain membership.
Richard,
that was crystal clear. That's history. We're focusing on the future.
You said they voted on that. A lot of people voted on the fact that 300 million a week was going to go into the NHS. They also voted on immigration. Immigration ain't been sorted yet.
No,
so
that's part of the devil's in the detail, of course.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So we know
we at Leave have put a very detailed immigration paper, so you have a fair, positive immigration policy.
We still have a weak Prime Minister, and we still don't know the damage it's going to do from Brexit.
It won't do any damage. It'll be a huge benefit.
Well,
of course it will.
You need to tell the experts, because they reckon it will.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? But actually, the experts so far have been completely wrong. They said we'd lose 500,000 jobs. We've actually got 400,000 more jobs.
Coming up with,
we've got 10,000 more jobs in the City of London.
The economy's coming down.
We've got more jobs and less unemployment
than ever. So would you agree
on
this then? On the growth rate at the moment, it's 300 million down a week, they say, which is 20 billion since we decided to leave the EU.
Well, hang on. George Osborne said that we're going to an immediate recession, as did Mark Carney. The experts were completely wrong.
Round the table
the economy is still growing.
He's not talking about the experts. He's talking about the measures.
He's just referred to the experts. The economy's growing, employment's up, unemployment's down.
Yeah, but that was
There's so much positivity. And we've just had an IOD survey this week showing that entrepreneurs like yourself, like myself, are really positive about 2018. Let's take the positives more. Exactly. Your business is doing well, so is mine.
But we've still got to pay the divorce money. We've still got to pay what we're trying to do.
Yeah, but the great thing is that will come to an end.
You know what's happening there.
That will come to an end, and it's exciting.
Let me just tell you this. What our government want to do, they want to have a divorce, but they still want to jump in bed with the wife.
Well, I wonder if it'd be like this when they do get around the table for phase 2. Thank you both very much indeed.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.